This is Larry Lawton, and he's an ex-jewel thief. Larry's a former career criminal, once considered the biggest jewel thief in the United States.
He wraps a shank here, and he goes down the tier trying to stab people. Now, we see him coming. Okay, people, I'm back. Larry Lawton here, summarizing my book, Gangster Redemption. It's been a great run so far, and I think we're going to keep going. Thanks for all the subscribers. I hope more people keep subscribing and really enjoying this content. The last chapter was when I went through Atlanta, when I went on Con Air, and I went through the plane, and I went into Oklahoma City, which is the big prison at the airport in Oklahoma. Well, when you go to Atlanta, so here I am heading to Atlanta, and as you're on the plane, you actually get in the back, you're in the plane, you're just in your handcuffs, you're in your shackles, all the bullshit they have to make you do. And it's all about security. They have to do it. I get why they have to do it too. You can't have an incident in the air happen. It would be mayhem. So anyway, you're up there, and when you land, they land at Atlanta Airport, and they go off to a side or an area where there's no other planes, no other people. I don't know if it's a cargo area or something like that at Atlanta Airport. And so now you're sitting on the plane, and the back of the plane opens up. Up comes officials and guards. Big black burly guy starts screaming names, your name and your number. Then they said, Lawton, 52224-004. You get up, you shuffle on down. You got to hobble down these stairs. It's in the winter time. You're freezing. You have no clothes. No. It's not like you're sitting there. You get zero coat. You could freeze. You could stand out in front. Now they have buses out there at the airport. Now you go into various facilities and either bus into Atlanta or going to Jessup or going to Edgefield, South Carolina, or wherever you're going to be going, or wherever, because you can be going even Pensacola, which is a camp. Well, they have all the buses out there. So you get out off the plane, and the plane is surrounded by guards with shotguns. Literally, you see around you. So, this is the real deal. So anyway, here you are, you hobble up, and they tell you what bus you come off. They search you again, pat you down, make sure you don't have anything on you. Get to whatever you're going. Go to bus 3, bus 2, they got a clipboard, bus whatever. You go out and you're sitting in front of that bus, just standing there, waiting. A line is building. And until that whole plane is empty or whatever they're going to take off that plane at that time, you're just standing there. Then they shuffle you on the bus, make sure you're going to the right facility. So here we are, we're on the bus, we're heading to Atlanta. Now, I'll never forget, we go by the zoo. Boy, you talk about ironic. Fucking zoo. The Atlanta Zoo is right next to the federal penitentiary, USP Atlanta. Again, you go into USP Atlanta, and when we're going up, you see 40-foot walls around the whole entire prison. 40-foot walls. The walls they're 3 feet thick, 40 feet high, and 20 feet underground. And there's gun towers all around them in specific locations. And when Atlanta was built in 1903, the USP Atlanta was built, it was the most poured concrete ever in the world at that time. Poured concrete. So it was an amazing project. You could look it up. It's USP Atlanta in 1903. So here you go in. Now you go down. You don't really know what's going on. You're on the bus, and you go into it. There's a big garage door, and it opens up. You pull in, and you hear the door come down, close. It's okay. Now you get off the bus. Guards, again, they call your name. Getting off the bus. Now you get into this area, and the first thing they say is, tighten up, nuts to butts. And you got to get in an elevator. In Atlanta, you get into an elevator. So they pack about 15 inmates at a time. They push you into this elevator. You're all in the elevator. 1 or 2 guards are in there. And they go up, and you have to go up. And you go up into Atlanta, and you go up to the receiving and discharge. So again, they take you out of the elevator. They start putting you in cells. So as you go into these cells, there's going to be 50 guys, 80 guys, depending on how many is going to wherever in that place. Now, some of those people are going what they call the Atlanta holdover. Atlanta holdover is another facility where they just hold you over for a week or 2 until you get back on the bus and plane and go whatever destination you're going. It's another holdover, they call it. Well, some guys like me were going on the yard or going into USP Atlanta at this time. So here they bring us down. We're on to USP Atlanta, and we go in. They process us. Well, when you go into a penitentiary, you don't just, okay, let's go, Lawton, here's your cell, go have fun, go meet people. Nah, it doesn't happen like that. You got to go in the hole, or SHU, Special Housing Unit. Obviously, all the convicts and people who've been in prison, they know it as the hole. So they send you to SHU, they send you to the hole, and you have to go to the hole, what they call for captain's review. Every time and all prisons, I don't know about the lows, I've never been to a low, I've only been to mediums and highs. You have to go what they call captain's review. And what that is for is the captain of a prison. The captain is the head of security of the whole prison. Then they have lieutenants and guards. Now, they also have a warden, who's what they call administration. He's the total boss of the whole prison. Then they have an associate warden. Then they have what they call case managers. Then they have counselors. And they even have case managers, counselors, and a unit manager. So that's what they call your unit team. So anyway, in Atlanta, so now you're getting shuffled cells in the receiving and discharge, R&D they call it. And then you're talking to other inmates and, hey, where you going? Oh, I'm staying here. Oh, man, you're going to Atlanta. Holy shit, man, I'm only going here or whatever. Your brain is functioning so differently. You're thinking, what the first of all, I'm going to Atlanta. I got to deal with this fucking asshole here who's just worried about going to a camp for a year and a half. I'm going to be fighting for my life. I know it. I'm in a maximum security prison. In Atlanta, we had 2,000 inmates. 880 had life sentences. Never getting out. They have letters, it's called. Another 450 find a lover, get a punk, literally get married, go to Unicor, which is the work environment in prison. And as they go on their way, the other 200, then they have 200 psychopaths. They chase punks, drugs, try to escape. Literally psychopaths. I don't want them living next to you. I don't want them living next to me, my mom, my aunts, brothers. I don't want them living next to anybody. They're really psychopaths. They don't belong to be out of prison. So anybody who says, oh, all people, you know what? There are psychopaths in there. So anyway, they're telling me I got to go to Atlanta. Okay, so now I'm in that thing. Then they send you to the hole. You literally go to the hole. They give you a roll, they call it. And in the roll is a if you want to call it a blanket, a sheet, a little toothbrush and a little toothpaste thing. Literally, that's it. And maybe a bar of soap, those little bars of soap. And you take your roll and you're going into the prison. And now they take certain inmates, they take to the holdover. And the other inmates, like myself, they're taking us to the hole. And now you go to the hole awaiting captain's review. You don't want to be a jerk off. You don't want to be an asshole and tough guy at this time, because you can be in captain's review for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, a month, or forever. Literally, the captain has to release you to the yard. The reason they do that is because you might have what they call a separatiste. A separatiste is if you have co-defendants on your case and you ratted, you can't be in the same prison as that. You'll kill them. Or if you had a fight in another prison with someone and they'll put a separatiste in your jacket. And if that inmate is on that yard, they won't put you on that yard. If you're a gang member, if you're a norteño and you're beefing with the Soteños, which is the southern Mexicans against the northern Mexicans, they won't put you on the same yard because they know there could be stabbings. Different gangs are fighting, so they know that, and they're going to keep them separated in different areas. Of course, they always fuck that up, and that's how people get killed, and it's quite common that way. So anyway, they put me in there, and the first thing I know is they stick me in a cell, and I just was on a plane for hours on end. I mean, probably 16 hours. First thing I got to do is go to the bathroom. Got to shit, man. You just got to shit. They threw me in the hole. I'm waiting for captain's review, and I have a cellie. So as I have this cellie, it's like, do you trust him? Is he an asshole already? Because you don't know. You just met this guy minutes ago. So the guy was laying on the bunk, and I said, man, I got to use the bathroom. Turn around. And now his head is at the other end. The bunk is this way. The toilet's here. You literally sit and shit. You can touch his hand. You touch his feet if you want. You can literally touch his feet right there. So anyway, he turns his head towards the wall, and you use the bathroom. You got to shit, man. You got to shit. You use the bathroom. whatever, you keep flushing. You know, that's a big thing in prison, to get the smell out. You know, they have the toilets with suction. I literally cut up a mattress and put a mattress in a toilet and sucked the mattress down. That's not a lie. I've actually done that. We're going to get into that in another prison when I was really getting screwed over. So anyway, I'm in Atlanta. The celly was all right. I didn't feel so threatened. I'm pretty intimidating myself. And I didn't feel threatened. And I went to the bathroom. We start rapping and talking. And so here I have to go on the yard. Now I get my captain's review. It was about 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. And I get cleared to go to the yard. The captain says, do you have any separate teeth? Do you have any co-defense? No. Are you in fear for your life on this yard? If you say yes, I'm scared to go into this prison. They're not going to let you go on the yard. They're going to keep you in the hole, figure out what to do with you. You might go to another prison and they do the same thing and they start transferring you over. You could be in this state for a year. They don't know what to do with you. And I'm not going to do that anyway. So here you are, you go, you say, no, I have no separate teeth. I'm not in fear for my life. I have no beefs with any gang. They assign you. They go, okay, Lawton. I'll never forget. They say, Lawton, you're at A1. Okay, so I love it. The day the captain says to me, he goes, pack up. You know, go pack up. Pack up. What the fuck I got? I got a fucking sheet and a gray, if you want to call it a blanket, really no blanket. Because in Atlanta, the cells, you know, let me tell you how fucked up it is. It's built in 1903, so there were rats and mice that would come under your door. It was a scum hole of scum holes. The windows, they have windows this wide, you know, to look out. And they're fogged up windows, but even in Atlanta, they would be broken. So in the wintertime, when it's 20 degrees out, there's an open window there. You're literally freezing, just laying down, screaming, can I get another blanket? Can I get another blanket? You're literally freezing. And in the summertime, it's 100 degrees out, and you're literally, you just walk around naked or in your boxer shorts or whatever it is, because you're sweating to death. You know, your underwear will be drenched wet. You can literally wring them out. So anyway, captain gives me a review, says pack up. Yeah, where am I going? And I'm assigned to A1. So me and about 6 inmates, we head out and we're going down. Now in Atlanta, it's an old prison, and we come up through receiving and discharge, and there's a like the kitchen area back in the old time Atlanta kitchen. You'd see the pigeons. They had pigeons in a tower. It's really an old place. So there's also a long corridor, and you got to come down this long corridor, and you got to pass Charlie House, which Charlie House was the hole in Atlanta as well. It's another hole. They had 2 holes in Atlanta. So Charlie House was a hole that was it's been there forever, and it's the old time. They had 5 tiers, and they had bars, literally bars, just like the old days. No doors this time. Those cells had bars, and that was a hole, Charlie House, and that's where Al Capone's cell was. Yes, the famous Al Capone was in there in the 30s, and he was in Charlie House. That's where his cell was in it. Actually, one time I was in the hole in Atlanta, and I was 2 cells from Al Capone's cell in Charlie House. So anyway, I'm assigned to A1. So you get in, and you know, anybody who tells you they're not nervous or they're some badass is all bullshit. You don't know what to expect, and you're kind of, I can't say scared, but you're apprehensive. You know, you're on edge. You're nervous. So you walk in, and the place is quiet. It gets quiet when all the new fish come in, or inmates, fish, whatever you want to call them. They come in. Now they have to bring. They walked in with a guard, and the guard has a guard stand where they stand, and they'll come in and they'll come. Now in Atlanta, it's not like other prisons. They don't assign you a cell. You got to find your own cell. It was go find your own cell. So I walk in, and you're looking around. You want to talk about being a white guy? You know, I tell people, like I said, there's not a piece of prejudice in me, but I know what it's like to be a minority, because in Atlanta, there's 15% white. 15% white people. After that, it's African American, and it's Hispanic, and it's even have Chinese gangs, but it's 15% white. So you walk in, and a guy, never forget, Lee Sharrow. Lee Sharrow comes up and he goes, hey, where you from? It's the first question I always ask, where you from? I said, New York. And you start rapping, and they're trying to get a feel of you. And the guy says, you know, what'd you get? And I said, I got 4 12s, meaning I got 4 12-year sentences running concurrent. So it's 4 12s. And we start talking, and we started kind of clicking, and he said, okay, you're going to sell with me. We go down to the guard shack. The guard is told, hey, Lawton's going to sell with Sharrow. That's how it's done. In the USP, in those penitentiaries, back in those days, 97, 98, you got your own cell. They didn't assign you a cell. So Lee says, okay, he'll be my cellie. Lee was in prison for killing a guy with an axe handle on Pensacola Air Force Base in a robbery. Since Pensacola is a federal institution, he ended up getting charged federally. And Lee was a great cellie. Stand-up guy, wanted to do his time. We partied together, did a lot. Again, there's going to be more drugs in prison than there is on the street. I love that one. People say, what do you mean? Not amount of drugs, but it's easier to get any drug you want in prison. You can get heroin, coke, meth, acid. I did the best acid in my life in USP Atlanta. So I get my cell, and now everybody's pretty cool. People are talking to you, you know, you're starting, hey, Lee goes, hey, man, come meet Ian, come meet this guy, come meet this guy. And you're just rapping with each other. You're rapping, talking, where you from, this. And they're getting a feel of you. You're a cool guy, you know. And obviously there's a lot of sharks and snakes, and we'll talk about those later. But I kind of know the thing. I'm a street guy, and they see that. And so all of a sudden Lee gives me a toothbrush, and he says, you're cool and stuff. And my first question to Lee was, hey, do you know who Vic Arena is? And Lee goes, yeah. Well, Vic Arena was the boss of the Colombo crime family. Actually, Persico was the boss of the family. Vic was trying to take it over. Ended up getting 3 life sentences for murders. He was a mob boss. He was assigned to be the temporary boss, but he tried to take over. So I got to know Vic very well. I'll tell you how. But I had a letter suitcased from Jerry Chili. Jerry Chili gave me a note after I met Jerry Chili in Farrington, in New Jersey. And he knew who I was, and we talked, and Jerry gave a note. I didn't even read it, and I suitcased it, and he said, give this to Vic when you get to Atlanta, when they knew where you were. Going to Atlanta, you're going through the holdover, give this to someone going to Atlanta. I was going to Atlanta, so I ended up taking a note, a kite, they call it also, and I suitcased this kite the whole way, and I ended up bringing it to Atlanta to go mix. So I asked Lee, I said, do you know Vic? And he goes, yeah, Vic Arena? He goes, yeah, he's in D House, but he's on the yard. He always goes on the yard. He's always there at lunchtime. And he's always there at the 2 to 3 o'clock move. I said, okay. So my goal was to get to Vic Arena and give him this kite, you know. So next, immediately, and I want to get out, too. I mean, you got to remember, I was just in air transport at FTC, Oklahoma. I was all over. And being all over, I didn't get any sunlight. I mean, literally, I'm in holes, I'm in holdovers, I'm on transports. I was in the holdover before getting sentenced. You know, you're in there for a month, you're white. You talk about a white boy. So you're white. So you want sun, you want fresh air. I want that anyway, but I want to go see Vic. So I had the note. I got it out, ready to go. You can carry a note around. They don't know what it is. They don't even know I have a piece of paper on you. And so I go to the yard, and I said, hey, Vic Arena, my name's Larry. I got a kite from you from Jerry Chili. He goes, oh, okay. I said, cool. And he shakes my hand, nice guy, and he takes the kite, and he reads the kite. Little did I notice now, he starts talking to me. We rap for an hour. And he says, meet me on the yard at 6 o'clock tonight. That's what he says. I'll never forget it. Meet me on the yard at 6 o'clock tonight. And I do. I go back, say goodbye. Little do I know, Vic goes make some phone calls and finds out I'm a stand-up guy. I wasn't a rat. The guy's a good convict. The guy's the real deal. I go out on the yard at 6 o'clock at night in Atlanta, and I'll never forget this. This is in 1997, and Vic Arena has a bag of sneakers, toothpaste, toothbrush, soups, ramen noodle soups, a cup, all the stuff. Shower shoes is a big deal in prison. So the shower, because you don't want to be in the shower shoes. The guys fucking come all over the place and everything that goes on in prisons. So you get shower shoes, I got sneakers, I got ramen noodle soups, I got toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant. I got all the necessities you need in a cup, like a coffee cup, coffee, all the stuff I need. Vic gave me. It was a big bag. I'll never forget. They have, like, those netted bags, and it's a commissary bag. That's what they call them. And Vic gives me the commissary bag. He says, "Hey, La, I'm gonna introduce you around." Who does he introduce me to? He introduces me little Nicky Scarfo. Anybody ever heard of him? Nicky Scarfo was the mob boss from Philadelphia. Crazy. I used to walk the track with Nicky. He killed 25 or 30 guys. He killed a federal judge. He used to tell me, "Larry, I'm going to beat my case. I know I could beat it." I'm thinking, this fucking guy's really crazy. You think you're getting out of prison when you killed a federal judge? There ain't a fucking chance you're getting out of prison. Anyway, I used to walk with Nicky. I used to walk the track. So he introduced me to Nicky. He introduced me to Vic Amuso. Vic Amuso was the boss of the Lucchese crime family. He still is to this day. He's in prison with a life sentence. Vic Amuso is the boss of Lucchese. So he introduces me to Vic, and we all talking. Now I'm a good guy. I'm connected with the mob. These guys, I'm accepted. So Vic Arena, Nicky, Patty Amato, which was Vic's underboss, was in the same prison. And matter of fact, I got really close with Patty. Patty and I used to listen to Sinatra on the yard. And we used to listen to Frank Sinatra every I think it was Saturday or Sunday from 2 to 4. Atlanta had great radio stations. The only good thing about Atlanta, it had good radio stations. So Atlanta, because you're in a city, and Vic gave me a radio. They give you a transistor radio. Just think about that today. We're in 2020. And, well, back then, it was a transistor radio where you're getting the channels. And believe it or not, that is gold in prison. So I had the headphones, and Vic and Patty Amato and I would listen to Sinatra every 2 to 4, every single Sunday. I think it was Sunday. And it was a getaway. You got away. Matter of fact, I did acid there, man. Got fucked up and literally left the prison. Talk about wild. But I got to meet all these guys, and they were good guys. So here I am in Atlanta, and starting to get to know the prison. It's pretty cool. I'm knowing the guys in my unit, which is cool. And I'll get into it in the next chapter, probably about making wine and the drugs and everything else we did. But so I'm in here. So I'm new to the prison, and they got a warden called Willie Scott. Willie Scott was known throughout the Federal Bureau of Prisons. They call him Big Willie. Willie Scott was what they call a troubleshooting warden. A troubleshooting warden is a warden that is transferred around the BOP, Bureau of Prisons, to troubled prisons, prisons with riots, prisons that have mega disciplinary gang issues. Willie Scott would bypass the region and go right to Washington. Willie Scott was a warden that was appointed by Washington and had more power than the region. So if Willie Scott said, "Put him on a bus," you would literally be taken from where he said that. You would be put in a hole, and that night you would be on a bus with no property, and you will be out of that prison and on a plane, and where the fuck knows? You don't even know it. Nobody knows where you're going. So you're gone. I mean, they'll shut your phone off. It's amazing the power he had. It's called Willie Scott. Boy, what a big black guy. What a prick. So listen. So funny story, we're on the yard, and I'm new to the prison, and I'm getting to know the guys. I'm there about 2 weeks. And every lunchtime, all the officials in the prison, the warden, the associate wardens, the counselors, the case managers, the lieutenants, they're in the chow hall. And they say they're there, so if you have problems, you can go up to them. Because you want to go up to these people when there's a lot of people around, so they know you're not ratting. You're not going on a door and knocking on some warden's door. Like, who the fuck is Lawton going at that guy? Why would Lawton be going to the warden's door? That don't happen in prison. But they're all at the lunch place area, so you can go up to them and say, "Listen, you got a problem. You can bring an inmate with you, and you got a convict, a friend of yours in. You walk up and say, this is my issue. I'm supposed to be transferred. I didn't get it. What's going on? Whatever. Your counsel, whoever it is." So we're sitting at the chow hall. Atlanta fucking food sucked. We're talking about we had meat from Desert Storm. Desert Storm was in 1992. This is 1997 and then 98. We had meat that the boxes said Desert Storm meat. I'm not kidding you. It's the worst. I almost chipped my tooth. I did chip a tooth, but talk about all fucked up. the worst because it's the bone. It's cut right from close to the bone. The chop. And I quit eating meat for a whole year in Atlanta. That's how bad the fucking food was. So anyway, here we are. We're in Atlanta, and my friend said to me, he goes, listen, man, go to Ward and Scott. I don't know Ward and Scott from any. I'm new. They said, man, go to the Ward and tell them, how bad the food is. Maybe it'll help. Maybe we can get better food. You're new, and you could just say, hey, I came from another prison. Hey, Warden, can we make better food or whatever? So little I know, they're setting me up. It's funny, but it's setting me up. I go up. I said, sure. I go up to the Warden. I say, Warden, can I speak to you? He goes, yeah. I go, hey, Warden, the food here is pretty bad. I mean, I came from other place. The food is real bad. He goes, oh, really? Hold on. He goes, Lieutenant. Calls Lieutenant over, and he goes, put him in a hole. I'm like, what the f***? Put him in a hole. Just like that. Put him in a hole. I'm like, what the f***? I turn around, I look, these motherfuckers are laughing behind me, and I'm like, I mean, I felt like an ass, but I'm going to the hole. You think, I'm going to the hole. I just asked if the food was all right. Can we get better food? The food was terrible. The warden throws me in a hole. I go in the hole, never forget. Farley, another big black, a great guy. He was my counselor. So Farley was a good dude, and he really, he actually let us make wine. You make wine by putting, fruit, and you put water in the fruit or juices, and you put all of that, and you put it in a bag, and you ferment it with yeast. He used to let us put it in the elevator in Atlanta. He used to actually let us put it there, and then once a week we'd go and get a whole big bag, 15 gallons of wine. We used to make 30 gallons of wine in Atlanta, but that's another story for later. So anyway, Farley's my counselor. He comes to the door. He goes, Lawton, what are you doing in here? You just got here. I said, I fucking asked the warden. He starts laughing. I go, this fucking place is crazy. How the fuck can you put me in a hole? I'm going crazy. I was never one of these dudes to lay down. And he's fucking he goes, Lawton, just relax. I'll get you out of here, but relax. And I'm like, where am I at? This fucking place is crazy. I'm in the hole for asking if the food, telling the food sucked. Anyway, he gets me out 3 weeks later, and I start getting into knowing the prison and knowing about the prison, and it was pretty good prison. So here we are. And so Willie Scott, I'm on the prison, and I'm learning how crazy people can get in this prison. We got a guy in prison, Ozzy. He goes crazy. This is the kind of inmate you're dealing with. Ozzy goes literally nuts. He ties a knife to this hand. He wraps with tape a shank this long to this hand. He wraps a shank here, and he goes down the tier trying to stab people. Now, we see him coming. You get out of the way. I mean, he's just trying to stab people. He went crazy. The guy literally went crazy. Ozzy, I'll never forget. It was funny because, the guards are coming, running, screaming, lockdown, lockdown. Now, we're waiting. We're watching what's happening. The guards are coming in. They're running in. They're coming up the thing. And Ozzy's at the end of the tier on the second level on the tier. I was on A1, so it was the second level. And Ozzy's standing there with these knives, and they're screaming to him, drop the knives, drop the knives. I'm fucking drop the knives. They're fucking taped to his hands. What if fucking drop the knives? They end up macing him, and they end up getting him down. He didn't hurt anybody. He stabbed a couple of people, but they were all right. So anyway, I mean, those are the kind of crazy people you were dealing with in Atlanta. People who would just lose it. And you could never, ever let your guard down. In Atlanta, I never, ever, ever, in any prison in the United States Federal Bureau of Prisons, maximum security, I never, ever slept past 6 o'clock in the morning. Ever. I would get up and put my boots and my sneakers on. And you go, what do you mean? How do you know who you pissed off the night before? You might have been walking down the tier. You look in a cell. You don't do that, but a guy thinks you looked in a cell, and you see a guy fucking another guy, or you see a guy banging heroin. You see a guy hiding his heroin, and he's thinking, oh, Lawton's going to get my bitch, or Lawton's going to steal my heroin, or Lawton's going to do something. You don't want anything to do with anything, but he's already psycho. So what is he going to do? Where do you think he's going to get you? He's going to get you when you're sleeping. So the minute the doors open in prison, they call it when the doors crack, you fucking put your boots on and you're ready to go. I watch too many people not be ready in prison. There's another place in prison. When you go to a shower, you go with a buddy. If one of you guys out there were my cellie or my friend in prison, we had to go to a shower, we'd both go together. Not to go together as men. You would go in and wait out front. I would wait out front, and I'd wait there. And you'd go take your shower. You got your boots on. And if I saw 3 guys coming towards us, very intimidating, maybe gang rivals, something's going to happen, I bang on the wall, and you put your boots on, your dick swinging, and you get your shank, because you got your shank with you, and you're ready to fight. I watched a person not know that in prison, and they stabbed him in the shower. He goes down, and blood went down the whole fucking tear. The whole tear. They killed him. What are you going to do in the shower? You have nothing. You're naked. You got if you don't have your shank, you don't got your boots, you don't have a buddy. Those are the little things you got to know in maximum security prisons. It's not a joke place. It's not a place where you can let your guard down. Never forget, when I was in Atlanta, I never, ever felt comfortable. Ever. It was just one of those places that you can't. And it's, the shit you see in Atlanta is just shit. I mean, it's crazy. And I'll get more into how we made wine and how drugs come in and all that. We're going to do a lot of videos like that. But I hope you got an idea. That was Chapter 9, the worst of the worst. If you were a snitch, the rats, snitches, done. I watched them get thrown off tiers, stabbed, beaten half to death, killed. I saw one guy get stabbed 30 times. 30 times he was stabbed. So the shit I saw in prison will blow you away. And Atlanta was the worst of the worst. Most violent prison there was. Most people were heavy-duty sentences, and I survived it. I actually survived it. So, hey, that was Chapter 9, guys. So we're going to go to Chapter 10, the next summary, and that's going to be an atmosphere of violence. And I'm going to talk more about Atlanta, the real violence in Atlanta. But that's the worst of the worst, getting to know Atlanta a little bit. I hope you like it. Hope you're liking the videos, the live feed. I want to apologize to anyone who watched. And I was a little confused. We're going to get a moderator. We're going to get it a little better next time. So it'll be work. Anybody, did that super chat and threw me a few bucks. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Really, appreciate all that stuff. We're going to put stuff with the merchandise. You can look at our merchandise below. You got some shirts and stuff like that people have been asking for. I am ordering books. And we're going to have my books where I'm going to do signed copies for people of this actual book. We're going to do a big thing at the end with this actual... This is the actual transcript, the first of the first, and I'm going to actually, we're going to do something big with this, with all the people on YouTube, so stay tuned. You can listen to me read this actual verbatim on Spotify and iTunes in the links below. You can get our merchandise in the links below, too. Please do. It'll help support criminal justice reform. That's what we're going to be doing with a lot of this. I really want to start making an impact. That's my biggest goal. A lot of you guys are happy I answer a lot of this stuff on comments. I will keep doing that. It's kind of fun. Even the bigger I get, I'm going to still answer them every day. We're going to do more live stuff. We're going to come up with a premium channel. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. I'm really enjoying it. And it's all because of the support I get from the people out there. I really mean that. Thanks again. Have a great day. And stay tuned for Chapter 10 in a few days.